Circuses. Fun, right? Cotton candy, acrobats, roaring crowds. But there's always something a little off. The clown's smiles are too wide, the tents vanish overnight, leaving only dead grass and unease. What really happens when the lights go out? What secrets hide in the shadows of the big top? Tonight we peel back the canvas and dive into the darkness beneath the glitter. Step right up, but beware. These are 3 terrifying tales from the twisted world of circuses. After tonight, you'll never look at the big top the same way again. Gather round, friends, and listen close. Tonight we delve into the shadowy corners of the human psyche, where dreams turn to nightmares and laughter masks a chilling despair. Our first story, a tale spun from the threads of faded glory and the haunting allure of the looking glass. Professor Phantasma's Carnival of Wonders, late 1970s. A traveling spectacle of the strange and unusual, a place where the mundane world took a back seat to the extraordinary. The air crackled with anticipation, the scent of popcorn mingled with the musk of wild animals, and the promise of escape hung heavy in the night air. The star? Leo, a bitter clown whose act is dying. Once the darling of the big top, Leo's jokes now fell flat, his pratfalls clumsy, his painted smile a mask for the resentment that festered within. The crowds dwindled, the laughter faded, and Leo felt himself becoming a relic, a forgotten echo of a brighter past. Desperate, Leo spends nights in the Hall of Mirrors, a labyrinth of distorted reflections, each one mocking his fading career, his lost youth, his growing irrelevance. The mirrors became his confidants, his tormentors, reflecting not only his physical appearance but also the ugliness that had taken root in his heart. Practicing, searching for a spark, a glimmer of inspiration that could reignite his passion and bring the laughter back. He contorted his face, twisted his body, desperately trying to recapture the magic that had once flowed so freely. But the silence of the empty hall only amplified his despair. One night, after a humiliating show, where his jokes were met with stony silence and his performance was cut short, Leo screams at his reflection, a torrent of frustration, anger, and self-loathing unleashed upon the distorted image staring back at him. He cursed his failing talent, his fading looks, his miserable existence, and it stops mimicking him. The mirrored image remains still, unmoving, as if startled by Leo's outburst. A chilling silence descends upon the hall, broken only by Leo's ragged breathing. The reflection grins, a slow, deliberate, and utterly unsettling expression that sends a shiver down Leo's spine. It's not his smile, not the painted, practiced grin he's worn for years. This is something else, something darker. Eyes cold and alive, burning with an unnatural intensity, a predatory gleam that speaks of something ancient and malevolent lurking beneath the surface, and beckons him closer. A silent invitation to cross the threshold, to step into the looking glass and embrace the darkness within, whispering, "I can make them laugh. Just let me out." A voice like nails on a chalkboard, a promise whispered on the breath of a nightmare. Tempted, Leo lets the reflection teach him, drawn in by the promise of renewed fame and the intoxicating allure of power. He becomes a student of the sinister, learning the art of dark humor, the secrets of fear, and the manipulation of the human psyche. His new routines are dark, twisted parodies of joy, unsettling, pushing the boundaries of taste and decency, venturing into the realm of the macabre. But the crowds love it. They roar with laughter, captivated by the darkness, the forbidden thrill of witnessing something truly shocking. With each show, Leo fades, his essence slowly being consumed by the entity in the mirror, his identity eroding with every twisted joke and every horrified gasp. The reflection taking over, tightening its grip on Leo's mind and body, puppeteering him for its own amusement. Soon, Leo is just a passenger, a silent observer trapped within his own body, forced to witness the horrors perpetrated by the creature that now wears his face. The thing from the mirror in control, reveling in the chaos and fear it sows, feeding on the laughter and screams of the audience. His final act is the funniest ever seen, a symphony of madness and mayhem that leaves the audience gasping for breath, tears streaming down their faces. He never breaks character, the painted smile frozen on his face, a mask of eternal glee that hides the emptiness within, even as the circus moves on, leaving behind a trail of broken dreams and shattered illusions. Some say if you find that old mirror, tucked away in some forgotten corner of the world, its surface clouded with age and neglect, and stand before it in desperation, your heart heavy with sorrow, your soul yearning for escape, You'll see a clown with a perfect, terrifying smile, a grin that promises laughter and oblivion in equal measure, beckoning you to let him out, to unleash the darkness and embrace the madness that lies dormant within. But be warned, friend, for once the mirror is opened, there's no telling what horrors might crawl out. Our next tale unfolds in Prague, a city steeped in history and mystery in the early 1900s. A time of burgeoning artistry and shadowy secrets. The cobblestone streets whisper stories of alchemists and dreamers, a perfect backdrop for the uncanny events about to unfold. We find ourselves in the dimly lit workshop of Alistair, a lonely master puppeteer, a man weathered by time and solitude. His days are spent hunched over his workbench, surrounded by wood shavings and the ghosts of past creations. With meticulous care, Alistair pours his very soul into his latest creation, a jester marionette he affectionately names Pip. Each carved detail, each carefully painted expression is a reflection of Alistair's own longing for connection and purpose. He sees in Pip a chance to bring joy and laughter to the world, a spark of light in the encroaching darkness. As Alistair perfects Pip's movements, something extraordinary begins to happen. Pip's movements become eerily lifelike, surpassing the limitations of mere wood and string. There's a fluidity, a spark of genuine expression, that captivates and unnerves Alistair in equal measure. During performances, Pip begins acting on his own, improvising gestures and movements that Alistair never intended. The audience is enthralled, believing it to be a testament to Alistair's genius, unaware of the strange force at play. Initially, Alistair is thrilled by Pip's seemingly spontaneous performances, basking in the newfound attention and acclaim. He believes he has created a masterpiece, a puppet that transcends the boundaries of its inanimate form. But as time passes, Alistair becomes increasingly terrified, a creeping dread that settles in his heart like a cold stone. He starts to question the nature of Pip's autonomy, sensing a presence, an intelligence that he cannot explain. The line between creator and creation blurs as Pip's autonomy grows, defying the very laws of puppetry. Alistair feels a growing sense of unease, a loss of control over his own creation. Soon, Pip no longer requires strings at all, dancing freely across the stage, a whirlwind of unrestrained movement and unsettling glee. The puppet seems to possess a life of its own, a spirit unbound. The audiences are completely captivated, mesmerized by Pip's seemingly impossible feats. They cheer and applaud, oblivious to the dark secret lurking behind the puppet's painted smile. Alone in his workshop, Alistair finds himself constantly watched, a prisoner in his own home. He feels Pip's gaze upon him, a silent, unnerving presence that permeates every corner of the room. He is haunted by Pip's painted eyes, which seem to follow him, to pierce through him, to see into the darkest recesses of his soul. They are no longer the eyes of a puppet, but something far more knowing, far more sinister. Alistair witnesses the puppet moving freely at night, a shadowy figure flitting through the workshop, a constant reminder of his dwindling control. The workshop, once a sanctuary, has become a prison of his own making. Driven to desperation, one night, Alistair tries to box Pip away, hoping to contain the growing darkness, to reclaim his life from the puppet's grasp. But the puppet resists with surprising force, its wooden limbs thrashing, its painted face contorted in a silent scream. Alistair realizes that he is no longer dealing with an inanimate object, but with something far more powerful, far more malevolent. Pip overpowers him with ease, its unnatural strength defying its wooden construction. Alistair is helpless against the puppet's relentless assault, his body frail and weakened by years of solitude. The very strings that once gave Pip life now wrap around Alistair, ensnaring him in a web of his own creation. The strings tighten, binding him, silencing his struggles, transforming him into a mere object, a plaything for the puppet he brought to life. The next morning, a patron arrives early, eager for another performance, only to find a new puppet displayed on the stage, bathed in the eerie morning light. It's a gaunt old man with terrified eyes, his face etched with a silent scream, a haunting reflection of Alistair's final moments. The transformation is complete. The puppeteer has become the puppet. Hidden in the shadows of the corner, Pip holds the controls, its painted smile widening into a sinister grin. The jester has claimed his prize. The master has become the marionette. The new puppet trembles when the jester tugs the strings, a chilling testament to Pip's complete control, a horrifying reminder that even in the realm of puppets, there are those who pull the strings, and those who are destined to dance to their tune. Our final tale, a chilling whisper from the edge of reality, a story of shadows and forgotten places, where the veil between worlds thins with the rising of the new moon. Prepare yourself, for this is not a tale of heroes or triumphs, but a descent into the unsettling quiet of the unknown, the Midnight Tent, a name that evokes a sense of both wonder and dread, a place where the ordinary rules of existence cease to apply, and the boundaries of perception blur into nothingness. A circus that appears only on new moons, in forgotten places. Whispers of its existence circulate among those who dwell on the fringes of society, those who seek the extraordinary in the mundane. It is a phantom, a fleeting glimpse of something that should not be. No music, no laughter. The joyous sounds one might expect from a circus are replaced by an unnerving silence, a void that seems to swallow all sound. It is a silence that speaks volumes, a silence that hints at the darkness that lies within, just a silent, striped tent. Stark against the night, its black and white stripes seem to writhe in the darkness, a hypnotic pattern that draws the eye and unsettles the mind. It stands alone, a beacon of the bizarre in a world that has forgotten it, and a magnetic pull to enter, an irresistible urge to cross the threshold, to step into the unknown and confront the mysteries that lie within. It is a siren's call, a tempting invitation to a world beyond comprehension. Mark, a legend-obsessed student, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a thirst for the unexplained. He had heard the whispers, the rumors of the Midnight Tent, and he was determined to find it, to unravel its secrets. Hunts it down at an abandoned fairground, a place of forgotten dreams and faded glory, where the echoes of laughter and music have long since been silenced by the passage of time. The perfect setting for a rendezvous with the uncanny. At midnight, the tent materializes. As if conjured from the very fabric of the night, it appears without warning, its striped canvas shimmering in the moonlight, a beacon of the bizarre in a world that has forgotten it. Mark enters, swallowed by silence. He hesitates for only a moment before stepping across the threshold, drawn in by an unseen force. The flaps of the tent close behind him, sealing him within its silent embrace. Inside, a spotlight reveals an empty ring. A single beam of light cuts through the darkness, illuminating a circle of bare earth. It is a stage set for a performance that never begins, a promise of entertainment that is never fulfilled. No performers, no audience. The seats are empty, the air is still. There is no sign of life, no indication that this tent has ever been used for its intended purpose. Only the oppressive silence remains, just Mark and the void. He is alone in the vast emptiness of the tent, surrounded by a silence that seems to press in on him from all sides. He is a solitary figure in a world that has no place for him. Colors swirl, memories fade. The air begins to shimmer, and the world around Mark dissolves into a kaleidoscope of colors. His thoughts become fragmented, his memories begin to slip away like sand through his fingers. Mark feels himself slipping away, losing his sense of self as the tent's influence takes hold. He's becoming less and less real, fading into the shadows that surround him, becoming part of the eternal silent show. He is destined to become another ghost in the Midnight Tent, a permanent fixture in its macabre spectacle. His identity will be lost, his existence forgotten. A flash of light breaks the spell. A sudden burst of illumination pierces the darkness, shattering the illusion and momentarily freeing Mark from the tent's grasp. He stumbles out, the tent vanishes. He claws his way back to reality, emerging from the tent just as it disappears into the night, leaving no trace of its existence. Found wandering, disoriented, and confused, Mark is discovered some distance from the fairground, his mind reeling from the experience. Mark can't remember his name for hours. The tent has stolen a piece of him, leaving him with a lingering sense of unease and a profound sense of loss. He never seeks legends again. The encounter with the Midnight Tent has extinguished his thirst for the unknown, replacing it with a deep-seated fear of the shadows. The Midnight Tent still waits for its next visitor, lurking in the forgotten corners of the world, patiently awaiting the arrival of another unsuspecting soul who dares to cross its threshold. And perhaps one day, that soul will be yours. The lights dim, but the darkness lingers. A clown who becomes the mask. A puppet that pulls the strings. A tent that devours memories. These aren't just stories, they're warnings from the shadows behind the circus curtain. Next time you hear a distant calliope, think twice before you follow. If the clowns don't blink, if the mirrors smile back, walk away. And whatever you do, don't look behind you. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more